It's a late afternoon in August and I'm walking along the southwest coast path in an easterly direction from Exmouth. And the first thing we can see is the Royal Marine's Straight Point live firing ranges. But as someone else on YouTube likes to say, we're not here to see that, because nestling above the cove sits a rather large holiday park. Let's go down for a closer look. The Devon Cliffs Park at Sandy Bay is actually a very handy place for walkers, as the coast path basically runs right through the park's seafront bar, so it's a great place to stop for some refreshments. Unless, of course, you've brought your own. And welcome on a lovely August evening to the slightly unoriginally named Sandy Bay. And the huge static caravan park that is the Sandy Bay Haven Homes Caravan Park. The park is situated along the southwest coast path between Exmouth that way and then Budleigh Salterton and Sidmouth going along behind you. I suppose the question is, Johnny, what are you doing at a holiday park? And the answer is open top buses. So there is an open top bus that runs between Exmouth and Sandy Bay all day long. Every half an hour the two open top buses ply their trade backwards and forwards, and of course all the holiday makers and their kids especially just love riding on the open top bus with all the views and everything, and it's wonderful. However, the two buses themselves are actually garaged back in Exeter, so at the end of the day at 6 p.m. and at 6:30 p.m. the buses don't just go to Exmouth, but they go all the way through pretty much to Exeter, just short of Exeter at a place called Countess Weir. But somewhere where I live, Topsham, you can actually get an open top bus from here in Sandy Bay and it will take you all the way to Topsham. And I was thinking to myself, that might be quite fun to do as a video, because everybody gets off at Exmouth and then there's probably just going to be you and me on the bus from Exmouth along to Topsham. So I've ridden this bus before, so on this case I have a pretty good idea how it's going to go. But you never know. The weather's looking pretty good, and hopefully the sun will shine for us as we make our way back from Sandy Bay through Exmouth and into Topsham. The bus is due soon, so let's follow the coast path down to the bus stop, which is just outside the South Beach pub, restaurant and shop complex. This really is a beautiful setting on a day like today, and I can well understand why it is so popular with families. And here comes our bus. It does a quick 360 around the toilet block, which incidentally is another great feature for coast path walkers, and then it's ready for the off. So let's climb on board the big beach bus. Last one of the day.
Last one of the day.
Topsham.
Topsham, okay.
Lord Nelson.
Lord Nelson, there we go. Still £2 a piece.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Well, there's a great view now from the top of the bus, and we haven't even started yet. We're joined by a few fellow travellers, but as you'd expect at the end of the day, the bus is quite lightly loaded. Well, the first thing is the steep climb up to the main park complex, where there is another bus stop. There are 38 Haven parks in the UK. This is one of Haven's biggest parks, and by my reckoning there's over 1,200 pitches on the site. And at the top of the hill stands the large entertainments, shopping and restaurants complex, which also includes an indoor and an outdoor pool. And finally we are out on the somewhat bumpy approach road. At Littleham, the open top bus gives us a great view of St Margaret's and St Andrew's Church, which dates from the 13th century. Littleham itself is definitely the posh end of Exmouth town, with some pretty big houses. Soon we're rolling down towards the Exmouth Mere, which is a park area of low-level sandbanks behind the main beach. And then it's a hard right at the lifeboat station, and we join Queen's Drive along the shoreline. Now, there's bus stops all along the front, but we probably won't be stopping too often. The view here stretches across the estuary to the seafront towns of Dawlish and Teignmouth. I cover this on my walk video along the Dawlish sea wall, if you'd like to see more of that. And once past the Harbour View Chippy, Queen's Drive gives way to the Esplanade, and Exmouth begins to feel more like the quintessential English seaside town that it is. Bathing is very dangerous along this part of the shore, as the tides in and out of the estuary are incredibly strong. The sand spit at Dawlish Warren is only about 300 metres away, but only a fool would attempt the swim. And now we turn our backs on the sea for the run up to the leisure centre and our last major stop before Topsham. And that's about it. We're into Exmouth now, and everybody's getting off except me. So it's going to be you and me on our way to Topsham. It's going to be cool, isn't it? Once we get out of Exmouth, I'm probably going to go up the front, and then you can have a look, facing forward shot as we go along the main roads out of Exmouth. The last time I was at Exmouth station, I was heading out on a major railway odyssey. That one will be out in a couple of weeks, and it was without doubt my biggest ever travel challenge, and so I look forward to sharing it with you all. And now we'll track up the estuary on the main road to Exeter. I'm really looking forward to this section and having the bus to myself. The road itself is a little inland, and so there's sadly only glimpses of the Ex in the distance. Part of the fun up here for me is that I'm following a road I've driven many times, but rarely have I seen it from so high up, giving us a much better view over the hedges. And I think it's very fitting to see that the big beach bus has just a little sand in it. One notable landmark is the Marine Commando Training Centre, just beyond Lympstone. I'm sure they are the ones that do much of that shooting down at Sandy Bay. Beyond the Marine Camp, the road climbs out of Exton and on to Ebford. We finally reach the roundabout at the St George and Dragon and swing down the hill to Topsham. At Topsham we pick up the Clyst, which is a tributary to the River Exe, and we'll cross this tidal river at the famous Bridge Inn, where I've supped many a pint, and also I used to serve behind the bar. And finally we cross the railway at Topsham Station, where so many of the journeys on this channel have commenced. And as we approach my final stop, I hope you enjoyed this little bonus bus ride in the sunshine. I'll be back riding the trains on Friday's video, so if you'd like to see that, then do subscribe to keep abreast of my adventures. But for now, from outside the Lord Nelson pub in Topsham, it's goodbye and thanks for watching.